Hello, and welcome to the YMCA of San Francisco's Classroom for All. My name is Justin, and today we're going to be learning about mean, median, and mode. So please feel free to follow along, or you can just watch and try this on your own later. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is going to be the first part of a three-part series about mean, median, and mode. But first, let's go over what is mean, median, and mode. Mean, median, and mode are three different tools we can use to understand groups of data. So for example, a group of data could be mile times or distances or flavors or types of people. These three things are going to help us understand how the data points are related to each other and how we can use them to understand and answer questions. So to begin, I would first like to discuss the difference between two types of data. So there's going to be one type, and it is called numerical data. So numerical data is probably what you guys think of when you think of data. Numerical data is any data that is able to be shown as a number. So this could be distance, this could be time, temperature, and so on. So yes, numerical data is any type of data that is able to be displayed as a number. These are just three examples. There's many, many more. But yes, anything that can be shown as a number. For our second type of data, I want to talk about categorical data. So categorical data is data that is not able to be displayed as a number, but is able to be displayed as a name. So for example, it could be the answer to the question, what city are you from? So the name of the city would be considered categorical data. So it could be San Francisco, Los Angeles, Bodega Bay. That's all categorical information. Another example of this could be, I am drawing a blank. It could be flavors of ice cream. So what is your favorite flavor of ice cream? It could be bubblegum, peppermint, strawberry chocolate, so flavor. Oh, it could be what is your favorite movie? That's another good one. So categorical data is data that isn't able to be displayed as a number. So more often than not, it is the name of a thing or a place, and it is a noun. So yeah, these are the two types of data. Numerical data is probably what you will focus most on in school, but later on if you take statistics class or if you're doing some kind of research study, categorical is also very important to know. So yeah, those are the two different types of data. Let's go ahead and look at mean now. So mean is going to be probably the tool you're most familiar with. So the mean is what most of you would call the average of a group of numbers. So the average is the most likely number to show up in a group of numbers. So for example, the average of 15 racers, their average time to complete the course is going to be the time that is most likely to show up when collecting that data. So the mean Okay. So the mean is the sum of all the data points divided by the number of data points. So this is a very useful thing to know, and it is how we calculate the average of a group of numbers. So very quickly, I do have a set of numbers. I'm going to show you how to find the average of it. So for this, we'll have the number 25, 23, 24, and 24 again. Okay. So for example, let's say this is the amount of seconds that people will wash their hands at the bathroom. So the first person washed their hand for 25 seconds. The second person washed their hands for 23 seconds. The third, 24 seconds, and the fourth, 24 seconds also. So we want to find what is the average time people wash their hands, or what's the most likely amount of time someone will wash their hands. So what we're going to do is we're going to add, so we're going to sum all of our data points. So when we add them all, I'm just going to erase this and put a plus. Okay, so when we add it, it should equal to 96. So the sum of all data points, and then we're going to divide it by the number of data points. So we have 4 data points, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 96 divided by 4 is going to be 24. Okay. So out of our group of people who wash their hands, the average time is 24 seconds for washing your hands. And if we look at our data points 25, 23, 24, 24, it kind of makes sense that the average time, or the most likely time someone is going to wash their hands, is 24 seconds. Okay, so that's the mean. We're going to go ahead and move on to the median. So the median is also going to be used to calculate numerical data, but it is useful in a different way than the mean. So the median is the middlemost number in a group of data points when they are put into numerical order. So yes, the median is very similar to the mean, in that it helps us to understand what is the most likely data point to come up. But how it's different is that it is going to show it is going to be the middlemost number in a group of data points when put in numerical order. So let me show you what that looks like. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit this on our screen, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use the same data points we used last time. So 25, 23, 24, and 24. Okay, so if we were to find the mode of this, what we would do is first we would have to line these up in numerical order. So what that means is 23, 24, 24, 25. So what I did, I just put it in the order that they would come if we were counting up. So 23 comes first because it's the smallest, 25 is at the end because it's the largest. And to find the median, we're going to go to the center 2. So if there was a number completely in the center, that would be it. But since we have 2 numbers in the center, we will circle them, add them together. 24 plus 24 is going to be 48. Divide that by 2. 24 is our answer. So the median of our set of numbers is going to be 24. It is the middlemost number when we put our data set into numerical order. So that's how you find it. Very close to, or exactly the same, is the mean. So I think it's a good way to show what is the most likely number to come up. But let me show you why it's really useful. So I'm going to go ahead and erase all of this. We're going to keep the same data set, but what I'm going to do is add an outlier to the end. So we have 25, 23, 24, 24, and let's say the last person washed their hands for 96 seconds. So everyone else only washed their hands for 25 seconds, but the last person literally quadrupled their time. They spent 4 times as long washing their hands, 96 seconds. So let me show you what happens when we find the mean of this. So we're going back to the mean, and I'm going to show you what happens when we find the median, and we'll see which one gives us the better answer. So 25 plus 23 plus 24 plus 24 is going to be 96. 96 plus 96 is going to be 192. So let's go 192 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 192 divided by 5. Let me get my calculator just for the sake of time. It's going to be 38.4. So we're just going to say 38. We'll round down. Okay, so our new mean is going to be 38. So if you remember, out of our original data set, our mean was 24. But since we added this 96 at the end, it brought our mean way up and made it higher than what it was before. So if we look at our set of numbers, the first person goes in 25 seconds, 23 seconds, 24, 24, then 96, we would assume that the average would be somewhere between 23 and 25 seconds, somewhere in the 20 zone. But it's not, it's 38. This 96 actually skewed our data. So it brought our data way up, and it's not as accurate as it was before. But this is where we would use the median. So the median is really good when we have numbers that would skew our data. This is called an outlier because it's way far away from our other grouping of numbers. So we can see how 96 stands out in our group of numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this, and then we're going to get the median of it, and we'll show you. So I'll put 38 up here so that we remember it. Let me go ahead and organize our numbers. So I went ahead and put this in numerical order, 23, 24, 24, 25, 96. We went from smallest to largest, and now we're just going to find the middlemost number, and it's going to be 24 right in the middle. And if you remember from before, our original mean and our original median was 24, so I think that this is more accurate than if we were to use the mean, which gave us 38. So when we have an outlier, such as 96, it's better to use the median, because the median will give us a more accurate understanding of what is going to be the most likely time to come up. So yes, that's mean and median. Now we're going to move on to the mode. The mode is different than both of the, different from the median and mean because it could actually be used to calculate both numerical and categorical data. So the mode is the most frequent data point. So the mode is going to be the data point that comes up the most. And let me show you how or why this is useful. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this. We'll remember it, save it in our memory. The mode is the most frequent data point. So like I said, the mode is special because it can be used to calculate both categorical and numerical. So on this side, I'm going to do numerical. This side will be categorical. OK, so here's a set of numbers. Let's go. Well, we can use the same set we've been using. What is it? 25, 23, 24, and 24. So what is the most frequent data point to come up? It's going to be 24 because there's two of them. So our mode for this data set is 24. So it can be done numerically, but most importantly, it can be used categorically. So let me give you this example. Let's say I asked a class of students what their favorite ice cream flavor is. So let's say M is for mint, C is for chocolate, and V is for vanilla. So I asked 5 students what their favorite flavors were, and we got mint, chocolate, vanilla, mint, mint. If we were to look at the mode for this, I would say that mint is the mode, and it would be the most likely flavor to get chosen. So we can see that mode is really useful when we have categorical data, because mode can help us find out what is the most frequent and what is the most likely to be chosen. OK, so that was mean, median, and mode, part 1. In our next part, we are going to be covering word problems, and we'll be applying our knowledge of mean, median, and mode. So thank you so much for joining me. Please join us at YMCASF.org/classroomsraw for more classes and fun. And I will see you soon.
Did you know that YMCA of San Francisco never closed? When shelter in place happened, we could no longer provide in-person programming. We quickly shifted to provide youth and family programming virtually. As early as April, we started providing on-demand activities in our YMCA of San Francisco YouTube channel.
For this video, we're going to be making a geodesic dome.
Today, we're going to be making a hovercraft. The science around this activity is really awesome.
In addition, we have a regular schedule of activities for our youth and families to join live. We feature read-alouds, yoga, family Zumba, arts and crafts, drawing clubs, and more. So don't miss out on our virtual youth and family offerings. Visit www.ymcasf.org for more info and class schedules.